Welcome back to episode number 6 of the 2023 CrossFit season. I have another long episode here that is over 20 minutes, as you can see from the video, and we are breaking down today's Metcon. This was from last Wednesday, hitting it with the Prodigy crew. It was a beautifully crafted, hard work pays off workout again. 5-minute AMRAPs with a 2-minute 30-second rest in between. Some nice high-intensity cardio mixed in with some dumbbell work and a little box work and some double unders. I really did enjoy this one. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a wheelhouse workout, but it is definitely one that, again, is getting me open prepped and getting me a good feel for different movements that I haven't been accustomed to as I've been more focused on weightlifting and strength training. So this one worried me a little bit. It's in total 20 minutes of work, 10 minutes of rest. Well, really, if you don't count the last 2.5 minutes because you finished the workout, still 20 minutes of work. And starting out on this 20 cal row, we were going pretty hot out the gate. Didn't want to blow myself up too much. These dumbbells are only 35 pounds. The box is 24 inches. And then the double unders, you're doing 50. So my mistake, let me go over the rep scheme. So it is 2 separate 5-minute AMRAPs that you will repeat twice for a total of 4 5-minute AMRAPs. You're doing a 20 cal row, 35 pound dumbbells, dual dumbbell thrusters. I believe the first set or round was 16, so 20 cal row, 15 calories for the ladies. Don't quote me on that, it might be 14 calories. 35s for the guys, 20 pound dumbbells for the ladies. So getting here into the second row, looking to see how everyone else is pacing. You can't see Andy Zvamsky, the beast, in the background. He's off to the right. You do see the ladies to the right that are getting after it. This second row, as I'm watching this video and critiquing form, a lot of good leg drive. I'm leaning forward, but I'm not extending, and I do believe later in this workout I do correct that and extend more and open up and hinge with the back. So I was losing a little bit of energy there, but again, haven't rode really too much in the past 4 to 5 months. So seeing this, and as I start incorporating more intervals of rowing and biking and skiing, I will be critiquing and looking at ways that I can improve technique. So looking at this, there was a couple instances where I did extend there with the back. But again, 20 cal row, we were probably rowing just over 1200, dipping below for a second or two and then coming back up and holding a 1200 pace. Probably opening up with about 1400 calories per hour. On these thrusters, the goal was to go unbroken. There was no need to drop them. Again, with a quantity of 16 thrusters at a weight that was pretty light, 35s, there should be no excuse in not holding on for all 16 repetitions. Now, one thing I did want to be keen on here is quality reps. I wanted to make sure I was hitting depth, full extension overhead, and actually showing control of the dumbbells. I'm not pushing the dumbbells out in front of me. I'm stacking them overhead as the standard should be. I wanted to also focus on distribution of weight in my feet. I did not want to let the row dictate how far forward I was and pushing me onto my toes and getting very toesy and kind of Michael Jackson-y with how my stance is with dumbbells. So into this third round, I believe each round was taking me about 1.5 minutes to complete. So I knew I would have a little bit of leeway going through 3 rounds with somewhat of ease at a very moderately intense pace. So I was just trying to, again, first round, smooth moving, not trying to go crazy on this 5-minute AMRAP. I do know that I do have a 2-minute and 30-second rest. I do enjoy, and I think it is very intelligent to do a 2-to-1 work to rest ratio here. So again, good format of the workout. The second half of this workout is the 5-minute AMRAP of 50 double unders and 10 dual dumbbell box step overs. You can have the dumbbells in any rack position that you want. You can place them on your shoulders, have them hang. They just can't be physically like touching like your legs as you're stepping over or touching the box. So that was the third 20 cal row. And one thing I will mention too is on the monitors of the Concept 2, you can preset them. So I had the 20 cals preset, so all I had to do was press one button and the monitor refreshes, excuse me, just ate dinner. The monitor refreshes those 20 cals. I do have the display set to only view the cals per hour on the bigger part of the screen. I don't have all the other like metrics and stuff and units that I'm measuring, simply just cals per hour. In these thrusters, Legs were feeling a little more fatigued. As you'll notice, it wasn't the biggest pop in my step. At this point too, we are getting to the tail end of this workout for the first 5-minute AMRAP. So just a couple hard pulls here. I think I accumulate 1 calorie in that final 5 minutes. So you will see I move the rower out of the way. I reposition the dumbbells. I just felt spacing wise, and to be able to fit everything into this video, and thinking as I'm practicing for video recording for the open, video recording for not semis, for quarterfinals, keeping everything spatially cognizant of, or mindful of is the word I'm trying to find here, mindful of all the equipment. As you can see, I did struggle with putting the rower in the right position, as it was kind of leaning off of the rig because it was too close to the base. I didn't want it falling during the workout if I were to nick it or step on it by chance. So we got it in a good position, situated there. We did 5x the speed of the rest. So here we are, the start of the, again, 5-minute AMRAP, 50 double unders, 10 dual dumbbell box step overs. Double unders, pretty calm with, feel pretty confident in, but again, good to touch up on, as they're probably going to be in the open or quarterfinals in some form or fashion. So 50 dubs, looking to get 3 or 4 rounds. You're going to get 150 to 200 dubs per 5-minute AMRAP, 350 to 400 double unders in a given workout. Solid volume. Torching out the legs here. I did not use any grips. I wanted to go in the hang position to work on that grip strength and that grip endurance. As you will see, this technique on the box step over, especially with 35s and 50s, is very preferable for me. 70s, I may do the 2-footed facing the box, step, step, 180, step, step. But this technique was practiced with no dumbbells at first a couple years ago, before I used to be a very awkward side stepper, or the front step, as you can see Veronica on the far right of your screen doing a front facing step over. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a little bit more time consuming. But with mobility, strength, and individual parts of your legs, you will be able to step over a lot faster. The turnover is just a lot quicker, a lot less grip work, and you will, again, be able to cycle through more reps in less time. So back to the second set of 50 double unders. What I'm looking for here again is, how is my hands operating to spin the rope? What does my chest look like? Are my feet together? Are they moving place to place? Am I bouncing around side to side? Or am I very composed and moving very efficiently? And in that set, that looked to be the case. In these dumbbells, I'm also noticing too, where's my hand positioning? Am I hook gripping? Am I just simply just like suicide gripping the dumbbells? How is the sway and the swing as I'm coming off the box? How am I swinging towards the box? Is my cadence shifting? So in this case, it looks like, I don't know why I took a break here. I can't remember if the hands were cramping a little bit or my feet were actually starting to blow up a little. So I think it's a combination of both. I wish I would have just gone and broken on the 10. But the legs were starting to get a little fatigued here. I think the thrusters and the row really started to blow me up, as again, not super conditioned as I should be as we are getting back into CrossFit and getting back into the high output on the machines. I think definitely I took the row and the thrusters for granted on that first set, or that first 5-minute AMRAP. So third set of dubs, looking real strong here. Very linear up and down movement on the jump. Chest isn't moving crazy. There's a little bit of deviation there. I can't tell if that was my feet or my knees or it put me out of position, but not the best spot physically. Now, moving quick. Try to pick up the pace of the dubs. I've noticed from watching the Invictus Boston Invitational on YouTube, my dubs just looked a little slower compared to other competitors. So one thing I've been trying to focus on here and there, probably about once a week or once every 2 weeks, is speeding up the cycle rate of my dubs. So back to the box. Again, cadence, there's a slight pause right there. I wasn't rebounding as quickly. Again, another break. This time that was the grip. So the last time it was most likely my feet were starting to kind of cramp up. But now I know I just need to move and keep grooving because I want to get through 4 rounds and then some if possible. So trying to not have the dumbbells touch the box. Again, with 35s, the heads of the dumbbells are much smaller, so I knew I could sway and lean forward. With 50s and 75s, I would have to be a little more upright and get a little bit lower on the box. So something to keep in mind as you're stepping over. And two, it's going to add more fatigue to that single leg step side crossover that you're going to do over the box. So with 35s, you can move and cycle out pretty quick. So here we are, we're approaching the end of this 5-minute AMRAP. I'm pretty happy with how the dubs are looking right now. I don't think I had a trip up on this set. I think I had a trip up on the second AMRAP. I had several. Again, that was the total fatigue. Looking at 20 minutes of hard, intense work, you're gonna start making mistakes. So yeah, this is the end of this workout. One mistake though, as you will see, I just threw down my rope. And that will come into factor and play at the end of this 5-minute AMRAP. So everything's looking pretty smooth here. I'm getting up, I'm getting over, and I'm moving pretty efficiently. Again, looking at how labored my body looks, I'm watching the position of my shoulders, the position of the dumbbells. Should I have kept them tighter? Should I have put a little more swing in the arms? How are my feet looking there? See, that was not proper technique. That was just a complete breakdown. Now, there are a few seconds here, and now I have to screw around with my rope. It's not ready to pick up, so that probably cost me 2, 3, 4 reps on the double unders there. I did squeak in 1 double under before the end of the clock. So keep in mind, always practice good habits. Don't get lazy and just throw the rope down. Place it so you can use it again if need be. I underestimated my abilities to get in position, get over the 10 box step overs, but I figured out in that instance it was possible just to hang on. It's not as bad as a burner. So this is 10 minutes of work, 5 minutes of rest. I was sipping on some carbs, a little bit of water, very small quantities just to give me a little extra oomph, a little extra hydration so I don't cramp. This second set, so another 5-minute AMRAP. Now, this time you go from 20 cals to 18. I think the ladies go from 15 to 14 or 13. I don't know the exact numbers. I only wrote down mine. Dumbbells, again, same weight, 35. Now, instead of going from 16 reps, we are scaling down to 14. So in the back of my mind here, and again, not happy with the row form. We need a little bit more hinge. I'm happy with the positioning of the legs and the quality of the pulls. It doesn't look rigid, but I definitely need to work on some technique there. So I'll be watching a couple YouTube videos about rowing, and we will correct that. But back to the workout here, 18 cals. This first row, we started out pretty hot. I think it was in the 13s or 14s. I can't see the monitor. It's a little far away from the face, but 1,400 calories per hour, and then we kind of throttled it back to 1,200. As you can see, maybe sent it a little hard. I need to take a second to breathe. Very toesy on the first rep, compensating there, getting my heels dug in. Again, trying to get really good depth here. The reps are a little bit more questionable, and this is where when I get fatigued, I need to have mental notes to shorten up my stance and really let the hips sink in. But I think I do make a good adjustment here of getting low enough just to depth, but I don't want to have anything in question. So again, something I'm very conscious of, wall balls and thrusters, squat cleans, squat snatches is depth. So this was probably the most painful part of the workout, is these 18 cals on the second row. As you can see, the mental fatigue. I don't know why I didn't strap in right away. I don't know why I was doing. At that point, I should have just committed to keep rowing with the straps undone, but for whatever reason, I stopped to pull them back in. There's a little bit more extension, and I think that is a much better row, and now I'm back to this interesting rowing form that I have here. Again, notice the dumbbells aren't set down as well as they could be. Again, practicing good habits and having everything in proper optimal positions to pick up and go is good things to keep in mind. So you're, again, preparing for the Open, the quarterfinals, potentially semifinals for some of you. But overall, everything felt good. It was very painful. I think this one I dipped below 1,200 cals per hour a couple times, but brought it back up within a pull or two. Pretty happy with that quick transition there, though. I do remember vividly, I'm not going to be a wuss and look at the dumbbells for a second, but the lungs were definitely on fire. And you'll see here from a little bit of that dumbbell crash that I was just trying to move as efficiently as possible and quickly. Pretty happy with the heels staying pretty planted throughout these presses. Again, only 35, so it wasn't pulling me forward. I was really trying to stay as upright as possible, sink into the hole. I think depth looks pretty good on these. And again, that time the dumbbells were placed a little bit better. I think there still could have been a little bit more give in it and placement. So this time, mentally thinking, let's strap in, and now let's row. It's looking a little bit more labored off the start. I think several times I dipped below 1,200, but then we got back up to 1,250 per hour. Moving pretty good. Nothing with the biceps was an issue. or the lats. It was mainly just like overall fatigue in the legs that was the biggest issue here. So I wish I would have gone maybe a little bit more bicep, and that's probably why I wasn't executing and leaning back as much as I should have, because I was just trying to row with the biceps, get a nice forearm pump. As I didn't see that, I guess for whatever reason, strategy-wise, I just wasn't concerned with that. Like my legs were just hurting the whole time. My feet, the balls of my feet were really starting to cramp up. I don't know if I was trying to over grip or compensate on the thrusters. I think partially from the double unders and box step overs were starting to take their toll. So here we go through the third round, the third set of thrusters here. Need a little battle cry there. Took a second to rest, make sure I'm breathing, because that third interval was, again, the legs were burning. But it was strange though, because I felt pretty fresh on the thrusters. Again, that one was a little toesy there. That left foot kind of flared up. A lot of toe movement I'm noticing. Again, though, depth is looking pretty decent. Good lockouts there, a little quick, but overall, I think the extension is fine. Maybe from a side angle, it might look differently. At this point, I did know that I was going to end, I believe, on the rower. So it did kind of lazily toss down the dumbbells, but I knew at this point I had maybe 20, 30 seconds, and I believe I accumulate 5 or 6 plus calories, maybe a 7th calorie. Really big pulls here. I wish I would, again, done a little bit more extension, because I think that I was overdoing what I should have been doing. So I think it was 4 or 5 cals. So monitor down. At this point, I'm just trying to stretch out the quads. The feet are hurting, calves are on fire. Get the rower out of the way, position the box, get the dumbbells set up. That's first priority. I think at this point, I changed some of the music on here, get me a little more of a push towards the end. A couple banger songs playing. Ooh, excuse me. And we get ready for the final 5-minute AMRAP. Feeling pretty good, and this is where I kind of turned on that competition brain of mine, where I was acting as if I was in a comp and I needed to produce at the highest level with the best quality. So I was laser focused for these last 5 minutes. So for this AMRAP, everything stays the same. 50 dubs, 10 dual dumbbell box step overs. Nothing changed. Coming out hot, I really like the way my dubs are looking. I would have liked to see my chest maybe not bobble as much. And there's a lot of back and forth with my feet. So not super happy there too. There was my first miss. I was just trying to go quick. I think I got like 46, 47 reps. But the rope placement, I should have been a little bit more diligent with how I placed it. It's not bad, but it's not perfect conditions just to pick up and go. Now, I was very aggressive on these box step overs. You will notice my cadence on the way down. The feet are up on the box and we are moving directly down. Now, breathing. I was very keen on breathing at the bottom of the rep. When my both feet down, I'm breathing here, exhaling there, breathing here, exhaling back over the box. As I'm stepping down, I should say. Maybe not on the top where I need to brace, but when I'm coming down, I'm exhaling, taking a big breath. I'm bracing while I'm actually physically on the box. Second set of dubs, we are moving. I was really happy with how these are starting to string. A whole lot of wrist action. Shoulders are kept pretty tight. They're not loose. Bobbling just a little bit, but that can be expected. I mean, we are 15 plus minutes into this workout of actual active work here. And really just starting to spin the rope. Very aggressive, very happy with how this turned out. A little bit better drop there. The handles are a little bit far apart, but a much better placement than the previous one. Dumbbells here. So I could not attack these physically as much as I wanted to. Simply because right there, you will see that pause or hesitation. The legs were really starting to feel it. The soles of my feet were absolutely cramped up. And the legs, truthfully, were just out of juice. I could still perform and grunt through it, and that's the beauty of having basic movements that are light enough that you can just grunt through, like a double under, like a row, light thrusters, light dumbbell box step overs. 50s would have been a different deal where you have to break stuff up. And again, that's where I think the beauty of building volume in this workout is. Third set of double unders, straight up attacking. Shoulders were fine. Lungs were feeling it. Legs were feeling it. Specifically, everything below the knee, absolutely torched. But I was pretty happy. Positioning-wise, we stayed relatively close. But this is probably the fastest dubs I've ever seen myself do recorded. Everything was firing real well. Again, we are super locked in for this workout, trying to get things moving. That placement was probably the best that I've done for the rope. Really hitting a very nice groove here. And then 2, just trying to gut out these 10 dual dumbbell box step overs. A big hinge that I wasn't super happy with, because with 50s and 70s, I would not be able to get this low, as the dumbbell heads would probably clip the box, and most likely that's gonna be a no rep. So maybe I would shoulder the dumbbells, but if they had to be in the hang position, this would not be good form. So it's something to keep in mind. For the sake of the workout, we did do this in order to get as far along as possible and accumulate as much volume as possible. So 4th set here, another set of 50 dubs. Again, lower legs absolutely torched. The foot cramp, I believe in my right foot, was way more intense than my left, but blocking that out, and I'm like, we got to get after it. I'm moving those hands as quick as possible as the final bit of this. I think the end of this workout is coming up like legit right now. I can't remember, or if there was one more round. Nope. I believe, no, we're still going. There's one more round. So really trying to crank out those dubs. Again, focusing on speed, trying to minimize and catch up to what my competitors have shown me is the new standard for speed of double unders. So again, very happy with that set. Here we go. I know this is the end of the workout, so I'm just trying to kick as hard as possible and get back to the rope and accumulate as many dubs as possible. As in the previous 5-minute AMRAP, we accumulated 4 rounds, and this one we're going to accumulate 4 rounds again. Now, I don't like that little pause right there, but the wheels are really starting to fall off as we step up and step down, getting back to the rope for the final set of double unders. So this is the tail end of this workout. I think we got 10-15 seconds left. Just trying to hammer out as many double unders as we can. Messed up and tripped up at the end. The rope coiled up around my arm, unfortunately. It cost me probably another 5 to 7 dubs. So overall, throughout this whole workout, we accumulated over 400 double unders. We had 4 trip ups. Pretty happy with that. If this is an open workout that comes out in 2023, I'd be very happy with this. I'd be comfortable hitting this. But these are all elements and movements that you will most likely see in some form or fashion. Maybe we might see a single dumbbell thruster instead of 2 35s and a 20, because I don't think that was a part of the equipment list. But writing down my scores, just doing a little mental check, make sure I did everything as prescribed, and very, very happy overall with how this one went. So that is episode 6 of the 2023 CrossFit season. Hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Thank you guys for tuning in for another 20 minutes. This was a long video. So if you guys are still here, thank you. And as always, peace, much love.